And welcome everyone to the video that you actually wanted to watch.
Right?
Casey and Morgan, comics should smell good. That's right, we are bringing you the best of the non-Marvel this week. Again, because thankfully our professor of Marvel is so well educated and so good at crafting his hype and his pitch that we let him do that.
Thank you.
There you go. But there is really a lot of Marvel stuff again. I know there was a lot last week, but you know what? There's going to be a lot next week.
It's just gonna
and the
keep
week
happening.
after that. So, yeah. But for those of you who are tired of the monthly Marvel machine, we have other stuff, you know, because there's other people that make comic books too.
Yeah, like DC and the monthly DC machine.
I'm not talking about
man.
that. Get that Batman crap out of my face.
What? It's
God.
cool. It's hip. They have an old man as Batman. Kids love old men.
And chains.
Hey.
Does he have chains on his thing?
No, but he's got a robo suit, which is
Alright, I guess
just as
Robo
good.
Suit goes over there.
Honestly, I think that's a lot better.
Why don't you tell us about the Batman then this week?
Well, this is the 45th issue of Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo's Batman, and they are back after a brief interlude with Jock, dealing with one of new villain Mr. Bloom's victims. Yeah, I don't really know what's going on there. He's got these
I don't know about
seeds that are
that,
like
yeah.
super drugs that give people
Yeah.
weird mutations and stuff.
And that's kind of cool, but Mr. Bloom?
Mr. Bloom.
Really?
And he looks like a really, really long version of Joker in Return of the Joker,
Yeah, with the
but
weird,
with like a mask on.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. But there's a lot of pink in this.
Yeah, there's a whole lot of really crazy
Which
neon
I'm all
colors. Batman in a mech suit. How awesome is that? Like, I'm still not over it. I still think that's the
and
coolest
he's smoking
thing.
on the cover.
Yeah, he is, actually. Oh
Straight
my god,
up.
that's awesome.
Like, just because you know what Commissioner Gordon does? Or I guess he's not even Commissioner anymore. Is he Commissioner? We're gonna move
that's
on.
A very thoughtful
Anyway.
question.
Two brothers, drawn and written by one of the greatest teams in comics, the two brothers of Fabio Moon and Gabriel Ba. No, I do not know their real names, but I'm sure they're related. Unless it's just like a weird Jack White, Meg White thing, but same-sex thing, but whatever. Anyway, based on the work of Milton Hetome, this is... well, it's the first time the brothers have come together to tell a story since Day Tripper. And normally they provide art chores. One does, actually they're both doing Casanova now. One made a crap load of money off of Umbrella Academy as well, which was very, very nicely done. But these guys they're from Brazil, and they have just kind of a more down-to-earth version of just comics in general. They got a lot of really good life stuff that they introduce into their own comics. I've been really waiting for something it's not autobiographical, but like I said, there's definitely a lot in them. With their books, it's always kind of this weird meta layer of creativity. It is black and white, hardcover, $25 from Dark Horse. Very nice though, if you've been looking forward to this, which I know you have.
Right, and you know how we said we weren't going to talk about Marvel? We lied.
He lied.
Okay, to be
lied.
honest, I didn't say anything about it. I was kind of taking the brunt of that for you.
That's
but
right.
anyways,
Thanks, buddy.
Got not one, but two Secret Wars miniseries coming to a close here. We've got Civil War, not to be confused with the recently kind of announced Civil War 2, but this is Charles Soule and Lionel Francis Yu, sort of telling the story of what would happen if the Civil War never ended between Iron Man and Captain America.
I'll tell you what happened. People get punched in the face.
Yeah,
That's what happened.
lot. There is a lot of punching.
There was a crap load of punching.
And A-Force by Marguerite Bennett, Margaret Wilson, G. Willow Wilson. There is a Marguerite Wilson on the other side. Oh my god.
I know, it's too many
people.
Marguerites.
And drawn by Jorge Molina, who is awesome. So cool. This sees the team of basically every single lady that's ever been in the Marvel Universe defending the island of Arcadia from, well, at this point it looks like Marvel zombies. Apparently something happened, I guess, in the last issue of Secret Wars or something that let zombies out into the world.
There's that wall.
Yeah, bad job, Abigail Brand.
Yeah, right? She failed twice on that, dude.
She fails all the time. Honestly, like, Sword never did their job.
No, that's why it got canceled. Alright. From Archaea and Boom, who have partnered together to produce these very nice single issues, we have finally the long-awaited return of The Cursed Pirate Girl by Jeremy Bastian. Jeremy Bastian is one of the more reclusive artists making comics today because he only puts out maybe one thing every few years. But that's because when you look inside of it, you understand that the man probably goes blind like halfway through the pages with these things. Truly, this is an intricately detailed, like on the level of like Mobius, but all kind of like Victorian storybook type of stuff. Black and white, really, really amazing stuff about a young girl who is searching for her pirate father. Great high seas adventure, lots of cool underwater adventure, great all ages stuff, kind of like Alice in Wonderlandy a little. This is the new format with which it's going to be coming out because the man is just too slow. So you're gonna get one of these a year, $10. This looks like maybe 32 pages, 40 pages, something like that. But it's going to take you a lot longer to read than your average comic book.
It is dense.
It is seriously dense. But if you're looking for something different, unique, and don't be afraid if you haven't read what came before, there's this really nicely lettered thing over here. Oh yeah, did I mention that he does like calligraphy and all this crap? Yeah. Dude's crazy. But very gorgeous and highly recommended.
Speaking of gorgeous and highly recommended, my next book actually isn't new this week. It's a re-release, but a very, very, very nice one. This is Big Guy and Rusty the Boy Robot. You may know it from the cartoon that ran for like one season in like the late 90s, I think. But you also may know it because it is one of many amazing collaborations between Frank Miller and Jeff Darrow.
Yes.
Now, Miller is super famous for, like, you know, all his solo stuff, like, oh my god, Dark Knight Returns, Sin City, all that stuff. It's all him. Wow,
oh, wait, and that
virtuoso.
New, like, Dark 3 book, right? Yeah, that's coming out.
A little bit excited for that. This isn't about that, though. This is about his abilities as a collaborator, his ability to throw crazy ideas at crazily talented artists and just see them come to fruition. Because Jeff Darrow is the man.
Yes.
Like, absolutely.
Especially when you're talking Scaly Monsters.
Yeah,
there's like Art Adams, and only does Jeff Darrow edge above Art Adams, but that's really...
And then the giant robots where you draw like every single rivet on them.
It took
if they ever did an Iron Giant movie or an Iron Giant comic, Jeff Darrow would be the guy.
Absolutely.
You wouldn't be able to pay him enough money to do it, but he would be the guy.
No, it took me like 4 days to finish that book, and it's only 2 issues. And in the first day, I just counted scales on the first page. It was insane.
Why would you do that to yourself?
Oh my god. Alright. Well, something a bit more subdued, and to go with the whole, you know, less lines make more lines make less, you don't know. It kind of gets you the same thing. Adrian Tomine, the king of putting out one comic a year. Actually, he's made an entire career, almost, pretty much, on putting out like 2 comics a year. Is this from Optic Nerve? I don't think so. I think this is going to say new stuff because there hasn't been enough Optic Nerve to even make a book since the last time Optic Nerve came out. But this is, if you don't know Adrian Tomine, he is like New Yorker, alt, super indie, very famous, LA-based cartoonist who, you know, he's kind of got a little bit of the design element of Chris Ware, but nowhere near like the satirical, like just kind of dreadingness of like say a Joe Matt. But he's definitely among that like Dan Clowes type of deal. But really, you know, D&Q does great jobs with the books. It's like $20. You got this nice kind of hard plastic cover. It's all designy and stuff. So if you like designy slice of life comics that have a lot of effort put into them, Adrian Tomine is where it's at.
And if you're the type of person that just longs for the comics of old, we got something for you here. Yesteryear. Times past. Whatever. Any of those. DC has it covered here with Superman, Lois and Clark #1. Unfortunately, not starring Dean Cain and... What was that girl's name?
Terry Hatcher.
Terry Hatcher!
Thank you, that old guy in the store.
Whew.
Excellent.
Which I only know about them because the ads in my vintage DC comics. That's why the 90s is vintage now. This sees actually the return of the pre-crisis, or I don't know if it's pre-crisis or just pre-New 52 or what, but one of the retro versions of Superman who married Lois Lane. They had a kid, recently showed up in Convergence, and through some weird contrivance, like I guess at the end of that, they were sent back in time to the first crisis by whoever was responsible for Convergence, and then they like beat Anti-Monitor again. We tried to figure this all out earlier today. It doesn't make any sense.
Not any sense.
Old bearded Superman and Lois Lane and their kid have been living in the New 52 since the start.
You mean like Infinite Crisis? Like with that other
Well,
Superman?
you see, they were in a pocket dimension built by Alexander Luthor Jr., but we're not talking about that, man. We're talking about this. They're there, they're old, and they're awesome. Lee Weeks and Dan Jurgens drawing this badass black-suited Superman with a beard, because everyone loves beards these days.
What's with that?
I'm not sure what exactly they're doing here, but it looks beautiful. Like,
Right, that
Lee
is some
Weeks
really
actually,
good Lee Weeks art. Well, it's Scott Hanna doing the inking, and Scott Hanna is of Jim Lee fame.
Yeah. It looks really solid. So people who are looking for classic Superman adventures, boom. He's got red underwear for like 5 pages here. That should be enough to hold you over till the next throwback.
Alright, and from the up-and-coming publisher Black Mass Comics, who've really been putting out some good stuff lately, comes Clandestino from M&K Nahulapen? I'm sorry I have butchered your name, but you do really good work. I did not know anything about this until I took a look at it, but it's kind of this cool desert adventure where what's left of the Earth, or what is inhabitable, has been carved up by some gangs, and you've got these roving punks who, start trash with guys with no name, and that never goes wrong, because the guy with no name is always badass. And on page 3, he's so cool he doesn't shoot you. He just chucks this heavy-ass gun at you because, whatever, he's that badass. And then when you ask him his name, you get the slow rise of the Mariachi Man, and then boom! Clandestino. Do you need to know more about the comic? Okay, you want to know more? Sure. There's Jungle Warfare. I love Jungle Warfare. This is very badass. But yeah, this looks really fun, and there's also some very cool kind of meta, like newsprint stuff in here, and some other propaganda stuff. Ooh, I love fake propaganda. The massacre will be big. I can get behind that propaganda.
It'll be big, I guess.
It'll be big.
Alright, and speaking of big, holy crap, I've got 2 books here for you from one amazing artist. Firstly, the newest edition of Graphic Ink, DC's big artist-focused art book line they put out maybe once every, 2 years. I think the last one was Jim Lee.
Yeah.
But this is the work of Darwin Cook, collecting basically every single uncollected short story he's ever done for them, plus an awesome issue of Jonah Hex, some Batman stuff of his, a whole bunch of really awesome stuff mixed in with just his illustration work for DC. So you've got a really good balance of sequentials and just really, really beautiful art. And it's got this sweet slipcover, which you can take off to reveal even more awesome artwork. It's got all those Darwin Cook Month covers. Just basically whatever you would want from this kind of book. It's awesome.
It's only $40.
Yeah, for this
Look how big that is.
tome. This
It is a
veritable
tome.
It's the size of those Alex Toth books they were putting out. It's hardcore.
And with the new and the old.
On the weirder side of things, going from the normal, palatable version of DC to Vertigo here, we've got Darwin Cook teaming up with Gilbert Hernandez and Dave Stewart for a 4-issue miniseries here. This is Twilight Children. Taking Gilbert Hernandez's sort of wheelhouse of, small town, weird mystery stories, and then, of course, combining it with the classic imagery that Darwin Cook brings to every project he does.
Aww.
And then, throwing Dave Stewart over it, because
That
who are
doesn't
you going to
matter.
get besides Dave Stewart or Jordy Blair?
There are other people that color comic books?
2 of them,
Really?
Maybe?
Wow. I didn't know that.
I don't know.
Shit. And finally this week, surprisingly, Scotty Young's very, very, very first creator-owned series, Fairyland. That's right. Fairyland. Put it in with your mind. I Hate Fairyland, officially as it's called. This is the special Fairyland cover. And it is exactly what it says. It is Scotty Young going ape... Can you say that? Whatever. Going ape crazy on basically what would be the thing that he made the most money on ever. I can only assume that this has got to be some deep-seated, I got to work some stuff out because I've drawn Dorothy over 8,000 times and other cute things, and all I really wanted to do was just shoot him. And that's what he does in this issue. He shoots things. Lots of things. Well, she does. And she strangles things and yells at them, and she even kills stars. Who is so ruthless, they kill stars. Kids, this is what happens when you work for Marvel for so many years. Your brain just kind of goes.
You can only draw so many babies.
You can only draw so many babies. Davies, my heart goes out to you, Mr. Scotty Young. Really, it does. And colors by Jean-Francois Biolou, a French dude, who is amazing and has been coloring all of Scotty Young's stuff for a while. So with that, we have rambled long enough. Thank you all for watching, and we will see you all hopefully tonight, today, every day. Come get your comics, because there's always good stuff. Bye, guys.